What's up, everyone? And we are back for our second, technically, post-free-for-all episode of Spin from the Reel. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me, as always, is Chris Anthony Lopez.
Yo, man. Wasn't Friday. Saturday. I don't even know what day it was.
Yeah.
It's been a long weekend. But no, we're here, brother. We're here. What's going on?
And now, for the second time, our official third co-host. Yes, it's official now. Yeah, it's the worst kept secret in the entire space. And that is none other than Suge himself.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't remember much of Saturday after 2 hours of the show, okay? Don't remember much. Just telling you, putting it out there. I don't remember much.
Yo.
But I know it was a good time. I know I definitely had a good time. I know that PJ Campbell hung out for a long time.
What was supposed to be 30 minutes ended up being over 4 hours. Let's put it to you that way. Because the party kept going.
I know I tweeted out that I love Maxwell Hada. I know the fact that PLD was on here. What the heck was he like? Did he show up on every show? Jesus Christ!
Was that PLD's first time? Was that his first time?
Yeah, that was PLD's first time on Spin from the Reel.
Oh, yeah,
we got Brandon Buck and Corey Cameron in the chat. What's up, guys?
I do know Schmoedown was in the chat for a while.
Yo, Schmoedown ruled the last hour of that show. Like, I don't know who that person is, but they ruled the last hour. They had like the devil's grip.
Schmoedown trying to fight. That's all I gotta say.
It was so funny, man. Like I forgot that.
Not for me, Paul and PJ.
I forgot that Schmoedown DM'd us, and I looked at our DMs. It was so weird. Like Saturday was so weird for all the best reasons. Like shout out to everybody that hung out with us that Saturday and came with us on the show. That hung out in the chat. Ones. Right, like Corey in the chat. I know Corey said he
Brandon. We had Buck on there too.
Yeah, Buck, Jeff. Like we had. I think they were the only after show.
By the way,
that we told.
Special, well, PLD also, just PLD
and PLD, yeah.
So real quick, special shout out to all the competitors who just came out of nowhere with last minute invites, like Jess Schloth,
yes,
Jeffrey Kahn,
Amaru,
Peggy Gubbins. Mm-hmm. We had a great time with all of y'all. You're always welcome back whenever on. It was a great time. We might just do a random hangout stream once a month from now on. Something we're talking about. We'll figure it out.
Even the folks that were announced, thank you for coming on the show.
Paige, we got Nerd Chronic for a little bit because he's like,
these guys are weird. Get me off the screen.
He's like, I donated this $100. I want to see this trivia match. Forget me coming on.
We did do trivia. It was a packed 5 hours. So for all those who hung out with us on that Saturday,
I remember 2 of those hours. That's all I know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I gave myself a refresh and I looked back. I was skipping.
Chris had to ask me, Matt, when did I get off the stream?
I remember the show ending and that's it. The show ended and that was really it. But no, I had to work the next morning, so it was a whole ass thing. But you know what? Free for all was dope. We do have a few guests coming on with us today. One of them
was here.
Was in the free for all too.
Both of them were.
Both of them were the free for all, but our man is here right now. Was in the free for all. Look, guys, without further ado, this man, he was a question mark going into last season. We didn't know what he was capable of, and then we saw him play some Inner Geekdom. And we're like, hey, like this guy's actually pretty damn good, and he happens to look like Peter Parker. Maybe not with the beard now, no offense, but like he's like, oh, like yeah, I'm pretty good at Inner Geekdom, and now here my man is once again for the first time on Spin from the Reel. Everybody, please welcome the Spider, Robert Parker.
Hello. Welcome, Robert. I love the shirt. I love the shirt.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I was technically in the free for all, but blink and you'll miss me. That's for sure.
That's a lot of folks. I mean, Dan
just so hasn't thrown away his bottles from the hangout.
Yo, but Robert, thank you so much for coming on the show, brother. Really appreciate you. But how you been, dude? How's the life of Robert Parker been doing?
It's good. It's like strangely busy. Even when you're in an off season or you're between shooting matches. Like I can't speak for everybody, but for me personally, I'm always there for all of my teammates, and it feels like every other night I'm on a dungeon call trying to help somebody get ready for the next match because they're just not stopping. And I guess that's what happens when you win, is you just keep getting matches. So I'm trying to support my faction in any way I can. It's busy, but it's fun.
Totally.
Go ahead.
No, please.
No. I just want to say about Parker is I have a special relationship with Parker because he was actually one of the first competitors we ever asked to be on a show that me, Ferris, and Justin did. And literally, he told us, he goes, "I don't think you guys are going to do anything with this podcast. You shouldn't." And
none of that is true.
No, it's very true, Parker. It was in
the first half is true.
Yeah, the first half is true. No, but Robert is to be honest with you, has become one of my favorite people in the space. He is just a great person. He is a killer when it comes to Schmoedown. This man looked me in the eye and told me he was going to knock out my favorite competitor and didn't even blink. And he missed it by 1 point. Yeah, and I almost did, which was really scary. But no, Robert Parker, not only for the community, not only as a competitor, he's just a great dude. So I wanted to really shout him out because you guys should all watch him when he plays Schmoedown. He is deadly. We can't spoil anything, but his match did come out for Patreon today.
I haven't even watched, so if you watched, I'm gonna kill you.
No offense, Robert, I haven't watched your match.
No. And it's against Brandon Hanna, and that's what I'm excited for.
Right,
Brandon Hanna versus Robert Parker. Because remember last year there was rumors that Hanna had been ducking Parker like a bad habit.
Rumors is a very light word to describe what happened in that
situation. Light word. Ouch. He didn't want to play Parker so bad he requested a trade. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah, so Robert, so you popped onto the scene at the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like we all, at least the masses found out who you were at the draft last year, and myself included. I'm like, Robert Parker, and he's being drafted where? To who? Like John Kaiser obviously thinks highly of you. Like not only then, but still now, me at least being one of the top 3 with the dungeon still after all this time. Mm-hmm. And although your season ended like abruptly last year, like I know the pandemic really didn't help out the tournament, how matches are going to go. But after the loss to Chance, like you kind of just went off the face of the earth. Yeah. But like how's that been since? Like you lost. Like when was that? May, June?
Yeah, it's been about a year. I don't remember exactly when we shot it or exactly when it aired, but it was early summer. It's probably been.
July is when it aired. July.
Okay, yeah. So from the time it was shot, it's probably been a full year-ish, or just under, or something like that. So it's been a long break off, and I did not hit the books the week after I lost to Chance. I took some time. I sort of I took it pretty hard. Like Chance is a guy I've known for a really long time, and I absolutely know that I beat him probably 7 or 8 times out of 10, and he just got one of the games where he beats me. So he's a great player, and I'm excited to, hopefully play him again sometime soon because I want to prove that it was a fluke. But he's a good player. I took quite a while off from. Hey, thanks, Tyler. I took quite a while off from studying IG stuff. Like I watched a ton of movies and sort of just sort of reassess where I was. Like, was I doing it for the love of trivia, for the love of movies, for this or for that? And just sort of came back towards the end of the season. I started picking my studying back up. And then really, as soon as we got the dungeon, behind the scenes, set for what we were going to have for this coming year, that's when it really kicked into gear. And I mean, I've been working with Mara for months now, the best training partner you could hope for. Same goes for Dan and Ben. It really, getting the crew that we have this year really invigorated me for sure.
Nice. Yeah, nice. So you go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I know Christian's talked about after he lost. He's like, Robert wasn't expecting the movies like what's now been put in the swashbuckling adventure type category to play a real factor in the IG last season, and that's ultimately what cost him. So have you taken that into account in what you're going for with this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit of an exaggeration to say that I didn't expect those movies to come or those movies to have questions about them, because I've been, tracking the league and what movies get asked about and the division since it started. So I definitely expected it. I just didn't study in those categories like the one question that you got me on. You know, I missed my 3-pointer in Back to the Future against Chance. And if you asked me that question today, I know it, obviously. But you could have, on that day, you could have asked me 50 3-pointers about Back to the Future, and I would have gotten, 40 of them, 45 of them. And that's the luck of the game sometimes. It's not just the luck of what categories you get or what numbers you pick or when you have to use your repeats. It's also the luck of just like what particular question you get on that particular moment. So yeah, I have definitely gone back to revisit, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Swashbuckling, but I've also spent a lot of time going over old stuff and digging into new stuff. I mean, the number of movies increased by like 60% or something crazy like that. Like they added a lot of stuff. So I've been trying to spread out and tackle as much as I can.
Oh, I like to hear. I like that, Parker. When you say, that you took that lost heart, and you reassessed yourself. Like, what did you reassess? Did you reassess just your personal investment, or did you reassess just overall everything? Like, what was that mindset like?
I mean, personal investment's always been there. I do the Schmoedown because I love it, and I love the competition and the people I've met through it and all that kind of stuff. I would say just like reinvested. Or sort of like discovered my love for movies. Like I worked at a movie theater for a really long time, and I love movies, not just IG. IG is where I know the most, but I love movies. And I had spent the last by the time I lost Chance, I'd spent the last probably 9 months to a year only watching IG movies, and it was just burning me out a little bit. So I took months off and watched every movie on Netflix and watched a bunch of Best Picture winners and watched a bunch of just stuff I'd never seen before, and just sort of like reset sort of hit. I probably spent 5 months without watching an IG movie. Wow. I hit the reset button hard, and it was because I still don't feel like I can watch an IG movie without my laptop out, without a notebook out. I feel like if I watch something without studying additionally in some way, it's kind of a waste of time. And I hate that I feel that way, but that's how I felt at the time. And that's how I still feel when watching IG movies. So I just took a break and watched other stuff and really loved it and saw a bunch of stuff I really, really liked. And then by the time my palate was cleansed, you could say, by the time I started having to watch IG stuff again, my palate had been cleansed and I was ready to go back in with a more clear mind.
Well, for you, what's the landscape of Inner Geekdom like today? Because I know we see a lot of folks, and you were a part of the initial, at least in regards to rookies last year. I feel like once the loss happened, and obviously in our other guest that will be joining us momentarily, he came on the scene, and it was like, oh man, this guy, that was where all the attention went, and the Barbarian as well, another fellow Inner Geekdom player, but. Like for you, this new crop of Inner Geekdom players that we have right now, whether it is like a Saul, he may have made his debut in this tournament last year, but now he's out here handing out KOs to some real rejects. You know what I mean? What do you think of Inner Geekdom now? Because at least for someone like me, I think Inner Geekdom slept down like a mofo. Is that how you feel too?
I agree, and I've always felt that way, but I feel that less so this year, and I think a big part of that is the inclusion of the new categories and the new movies. When we initially heard that there was going to be this much new stuff added, I was a little bit hesitant because I had spent so long trying to master all the stuff that was already there, and I'm like, well, now you're tripling, doubling my investment time. But it's been really reinvigorating. I haven't had to watch. I'm not going to pick out a specific movie or anything, but there's a number of movies that I know very well that I haven't felt the need to revisit because I'd rather watch something I haven't seen before. And that kind of plays into what I was talking about earlier about just watching new movies. I'm watching. There's movies on the IG list I haven't seen before, so I'm it excites me to, even if it's bad, even if it's in a category I don't love or by a cast or director I don't really like, it's still something new. Which for somebody who's seen a lot of those IG movies, the core ones, a lot of times, it's really refreshing to see something new. And as far as the landscape of players, I mean, everybody's great now. And that wasn't the case 2 years ago. That wasn't the case 3 years ago. I think that trend started last year. We had, especially with the tournament, COVID did a lot of things for the Schmoedown. One thing it did was, the Intergeekdom tournament was one of our Intergeekdom tournament, Star Wars tournament, were the first real things back after the Schmoedown took like a little bit of a break.
Right.
So everybody took that time who knew they were going to be in that tournament and really studied up. And you had people, basically everybody was throwing close to perfect games. People were throwing perfect round ones far more consistently. And I think that's a testament to the quality of player and to the quality of questions and the quality of just competition, just everything. People are very good now. Saul is a very scary player, and I would not have said that about him a year ago. No offense to him as a person. I just didn't think he was that impressive of a player a year ago when his first match. And now he comes out and delivers a knockout. Like you said, doesn't matter who it's against, win's a win. Knockout's a knockout. It's not an easy thing to get in 2021 in the Schmoedown. So he's a scary player. You got rookies, people who even in losses played well. Jesse Swift played very well in his first match. Amaru Moses, who I've known through his family careers for the last couple of years. As soon as they announced him, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be good. So everybody is on that high level, especially the people towards the top. And that goes for singles and teams as well. The top 10 ranked people in every division are just going to be able to beat anybody on any day. And that is the same for Intergeekdom. I mean, Chandru may have lost against Mara, but he is still a killer player. Hannah is a very good player, and I'm not intimidated by him. He may have been ducking me for a year, but I'm not intimidated by him. But he's a good player. I mean, we saw how he played against Zip. That's a smart guy.
Right. And that whole Hannah
transition.
Yeah, I mean, look, as the resident corruption shill, Matt, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry,
Chris. Go ahead and do your thing.
So for a while now, I've been hitched. Actually, let me take you back a long time ago. This was September. I hitched my cart to this man's bandwagon. And for months on this show, I would get scrutinized and made fun of and mocked and like pseudo disrespected just because of how I viewed this guy. And for weeks, again, like matchup against matchup, he beat Gallego. He TKO'd Roca. He KO'd the delinquent, really made a delinquent the delinquent he is now, right? And then he goes on and beats the kid. He beats LSM. He beats Jeff Snyder. And then he wins the belt against Dan Murrell. And I'm over here having celebrations, right, on this channel. Go back and watch the receipts. I had a whole ass corruption celebration. And I credit a lot of that to this man. I mean, unfortunately, he is the former Movie Trivia Schmoedown Singles champion, but he's still a champion in my heart. It's the Coyote, Adam Collins. What's going on, Adam?
Thank you, Chris. Nice to meet you face to face. That's a hell of an introduction. All right, Parker, 5 rounds, Steven Seagal. Let's go right now.
Steven Seagal? Yeah. Oh, man.
No.
Question. Okay. Oh,
no. They can't. We don't want to get them in trouble. We don't want to get them in trouble.
Hey, Adam DM'd me first about it. He said he wanted to do it.
No.
It wasn't
watch the Schmoedown come in again and try to start stuff. We don't need that.
1994.
Again. All right. We'll take this offline, Parker. We'll take this outside.
Behind closed doors, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, like Rocky and Apollo. Got it.
Right. Yeah.
Except in an alley that smells like urine, probably, because I have to go to the dungeon to fight this guy.
That gym didn't smell like urine at the end of Rocky.
Hey, we don't spend money on Febreze, but we do spend it on belt stands. So,
well, a little insight for you. Little champion secret. You technically don't need a stand to prop up the belt. Dan and I had this conversation recently. It's inside shop talk. I can't divulge my secrets.
I see. Good on you.
Floats. It floats. Yeah. That's what it does. Christian sprinkled it with some blue fairy dust. What's up? And it floats now. That's all it does. Well, Adam, welcome to Spin from the Reel. It's a pleasure to have you. I mean, I've been saying your name for months in the most respectful manner that I possibly can, because you came onto the scene. Both of you guys have something in common. Like, you came onto the scene hot. Like white hot, like the second you had your first match. Parker, if I'm not mistaken, it was against Ace Cabrera, where you just wiped the floor with my man. And in Intergeekdom, not Star Wars, in Intergeekdom. And then Adam, you came onto the scene, you beat Gallego, but then people were still doubting you. And then the Roca match came, and then oh my God, this man's the real deal. Like,
this is the one time Chris can throw me under the bus.
How was it for both of you guys going into the Schmoedown? Because obviously y'all been fans, y'all been watching. But how was it getting picked up in Adam's case and getting drafted in Robert's case and coming in here and doing what you did and having the momentum behind you and having Christian's seal of approval behind you?
Well, I'm going to defer to the guy who got drafted before I did, if that's all right. Just because Parker is part of the trailblazing team that made it possible for me to even get drafted in the first place.
I'm appreciative of that, but I'm not sure how much of a factor I had to play. It was great to get drafted. I mean, my story is a little different in the sense that like
What's up, Jesse?
I mean, I had conversations about coming into the league like the year that Smets debuted, and it just didn't work out with, I was still in college, and like who was winning, and the Intergeekdom division was a little bit different back then, so it just didn't work out. So I had sort of been waiting and very, very hungry and been like, I've been waiting for like a year. Let's get in there. Let's get drafted. And then Kaiser drafted me, which was a shock to me. I had no idea that was coming. I literally went out to dinner with Smets and Frank Janish the night before. And they were like, so who do you think's going to draft you? Could it be this person? And like they knew the whole time. But yeah, it was great. And, COVID put a pin in some things, but it also opened the doors for online studying, and it opened the doors for a lot of different people to compete. And Adam, I fully believe you would have competed if we were digital or not, because you're that good and you deserve it. But now, how did it feel to become a free agency? That's not something I know about.
Yeah, so that was the weird part. I had, as I've said on other shows, and I won't get into it too much, but long story short, I didn't expect to be drafted. Christian reached out to me, said I was a free agent. Shannon was aware of my fan league play and reached out to me first, and then Winston after that. I went with Corruption; they were my first choice, but Swag would have been a great option as well. But I landed where I was supposed to go. And it was just waiting around because I didn't know if I'd get a match at all. And it was really a matter of really just putting in my time, putting in my reps. So I, it was all about prepping for the IG tournament and the Star Wars tournaments at the time. So I threw myself into that. And I got to know Laura, Mike, and Chance and Shannon really fast. And then when singles tournament prep happened, that's when I finally started getting to know Marisol, and we started preparing for the singles tournament along with Chance and Mike. So everything else is history. But I like to think, like a lot of us, like Parker is definitely part of the generation of players who brought, like group study into the regular. But now it's like mandatory for Season 8. Everyone has to do that. Everyone has to follow that model. Only a handful of factions were doing it regularly last year, including ours. And it used to be the game changer. Now it's a minimum requirement.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously was a game changer because look, you came into that singles tournament, and if people don't remember that singles tournament, I think you were one of the first matches to debut.
I kicked off the tournament. You kicked off the tournament. Yeah,
but then the next couple of weeks, Mike lost. Marisol won her first match, but then lost, and then Chance won his first match and lost, and it was just down to you. And you were a rookie, and then you ran through that tournament like you do. Like everyone talks about it. You won Corruption that title last year, and so that's one of the greatest things. I like I said, other than the Star Wars tournament last year, that singles tournament was amazing, and your run was absolutely amazing. And the IG tournament, what sucks is with Parker is I actually got spoiled that match, and I was so pissed.
Oh, did you? Oh no.
Yeah, I got spoiled behind the scenes.
I'm sorry.
And I was so angry about it because I was like, all right, he beat Goddard, so I got to go for Parker now. And then like I find out that he loses a chance, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, why? What the hell? Like, am I just bad luck or something?
That was my reaction too when I found out. Yeah.
So I won't root for you anymore, Parker, because if I don't root for you, then you win for some reason.
Sounds good. I don't really want your support, to be honest. So
there you go. So I'm on the don't support Robert Parker anymore.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear.
There you go. But we'll get into Adam. We'll get into your defense against Dan Merle. But let's talk about the free for all because both of you guys were in it. Spoiler alerts if anybody hasn't watched.
We were in the same round.
We were on the same table.
I actually do have a question for Adam before we transfer over to free for all talk.
Sure.
Because he's the only player here who's of the two we had that actually went through free agency last year, and free agency has changed this year. how free last year it was you guys are basically free to sign with whoever you wanted to. This year it's more of a waiver wire situation. What are your views on that? Because do you think it's better for the league? Do you think, especially from a rookie, like save some of these rookies from their point of view, considering you were in that position last year?
I think it's evolved. It's different than it was last year because the bench for potential free agents is much wider, and we have the FCL fostering that talent, which is terrific, and keeping these people sharp so they're ready to be called up. But corruption in many other factions, I don't think any factions dropped anybody. Am I wrong?
No factions.
Yeah. So
it's free agency. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're all still feeling out our squads and giving them time to breathe. And last year the thing was there wasn't a wide bench. Shannon picked me up thinking I was decent, but not having any real prognostication of what was going to happen. I knew what I knew about movies, but the thing that's funny to me, and I think Parker can attest to this, especially with singles play in the fan leagues, it's not that the questions are all universally harder than the Schmoedown. That's not true. But the level of difficulty does go up and down a bit, especially in round one, because there are a lot of different writers and all that kind of stuff. It's not one single writers group. So you'll get in what my opinion is like 5-point level difficulty questions in round one, like 2 or 3 times in a round in singles play, especially when you get up to number 1 contenders matches. So I didn't have all these perfect rounds and stuff. So Shannon's like, oh, he's good, but he's not like some savant. So, maybe I'll put him in a match and he'll win something. But because the writers put in a consistent style to the questions, and what to look for when you're watching movies, there's just more consistency in the Schmoedown. And I don't mean that as a good or bad thing. It's just when you have to get to a quote unquote professional level of movie trivia, you need that consistency. And I think that's what the Schmoedown does. It levels us all out so that even people like Viviani, who statistically probably knows more than most players, is going to lose in a singles match because of the way they balance out those questions.
Gotcha. That's actually very good insight because I didn't think about that. Because you look like you said, a savant when you're going perfect every game pretty much, and your title match was that match was amazing. But we'll get into that match in a minute. But the free for all, I did not think a lot of IG players were going to be in this thing, and to see as many.
I loved it.
Yes,
I was happy.
The amount of IG questions. Yeah. Transformers was the star. Transformers and dystopian future / time travel.
Mm-hmm.
But to see who like Jesse, like Mara, Parker, obviously were a big surprise. We obviously knew that Adam was going to be there, and Adam was my pick to win it. But I will talk about the moment, Adam, because I actually watched it again, and your face when Viviani knocks everybody out, it literally looks like, are you effing kidding me right now? Really? You did this to me? Like, because you looked like you were about to go on a run, but you just gave this look like, are you effing kidding me? And I talked to Jacob London that night. We talked to Jacob after the free-for-all because he was on our show, and he said, look, we thought Adam was going to go all the way because he just looked ready. And for what Viviani did, what was your mindset when that happened?
Sucked. I wished I had seen Bumblebee at that point in time, and Parker would have gotten that question right, obviously. But since then, Bumblebee is bumped to the top of the queue. That's being handled. And like a lot of players in this league right now, I have to stare right down the barrel of that Transformers gun and own it, because that's what we're up against, guys. You're not safe from it in singles. You're not safe from it in the free-for-all. Transformers is coming for you. So that was a lesson. But beyond that, it was disappointing because it wasn't just me, Ethan, and then Andraco and Merle came in the same round. They get eliminated in one round. It is what it is. But I think the silver lining is we saw a lot of new talent get to shine. And we also got to see 2 former champions duke it out till the end. So we can't be mad. The fans won. Would I have liked to have gone on a longer run and think I could in future free-for-alls? Absolutely. But it is what it is. I didn't know that Haley Steinfeld was a diving wunderkind in Bumblebee, and I paid the price.
I'm a little bit upset because Bumblebee is the only good Transformers film.
I've been burned too many times at that point, buddy.
Hey, so had I. And I saw it and I said, "Oh my God, we actually got a good one."
But poor Robert has to watch these things all the time.
Yeah,
the man has no choice.
That was not to pull the curtain too far back, but that was one of the first when they announced the new categories for IG. That was the first one that I sat down and watched because I was like, I'm going to get out of the way. And because I know that I'm not going to retain as much as I should, so I know I'm going to have to revisit it later. But I'd rather visit it for the first time, or like I had seen maybe 2 or 3 of them in theaters. Bumblebee was one of those. But other than that, I hadn't seen most of them. So that was I would tackled it first, and since then I've gone back and revisited a number of times. But like the first getter. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna grab the bull by the horns, take it head on, and cry every night.
I will say this. I was on the fence about guessing soccer or swimming, and it would have been more heartbreaking if I wrote swimming because I don't think they would have given that to me. That would have been
rough.
Oh, I would have. I don't know what I would have done if I'd lost on swimming. So I'm glad that Merle and I went out with the same wrong answer, if nothing else. And I got to technically take him out because if I'd missed one other question, I would have saved everybody. So at least I got to take out the other champs with me, and that felt. I'm
a big fan of taking people out with you in the free for all.
Yeah, you got to take out Barbarian.
I did. Oh no, that felt so good.
A lot of bitterness going around the free for all. Like a lot of folks taking other folks out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's always been a thing. I mean, in one of the first free for alls ever, Bateman took Roka out, and that was like one of the first sparks in their rivalry.
Yeah,
so it's been a long-standing thing. I mean, Smets and Kalinowski were on the table together at free for all.
Exactly,
it feeds rivalries.
It felt right to go down together on that table, and then for Blunden to come back with his moment was so poetic because he's a corruption guy too.
Damn right.
That was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I do got to ask you, Adam. I know I talked to someone who said you only said you're like, I'll look at IG, I'll look at Star Wars because you were angry. Was it because you were angry, or is it an actual thing in consideration?
It's very much in consideration. Star Wars probably ain't going to happen anytime soon. It's too stacked right now. But I hope in the future seasons, as they hopefully diversify what they add to that particular division. I would love to maybe get up there because I'm a genuine Star Wars junkie.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to compete for the belt. IG is something I'm very serious about. Hopefully this year, a lot of things have to play out. And I'm not coming for Parker yet. Just like I'd like to think he's not coming for me in singles. But
no.
But I do want to compete in IG, and I want to show people that I'm more than just the singles and teams divisions. I played IG comparable leagues in the fan leagues. I did a Star Wars match in the fan leagues that's lost because someone accidentally wiped his hard drive. It was an accident, but I missed one question in that Star Wars match. I'm not ashamed to admit that. But the IG is not my bread and butter, singles is, but I love everything that's in IG with a couple exceptions that we already discussed. And I'm really excited to compete in it if I get the opportunity.
So Merle Collins, Inner Geekdom. I know my man Jesse put it in the chat. He read my mind. Let's make it happen. Christian, book it.
So real quick, following up on, I'm an FCL writer. Are you excited to see what we do? Because we got 2 Star Wars matches next Tuesday for May the 4th. Woo. We're going to be testing out that TV slice, the Mandalorian, the Rebels, and Clone Wars.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. I love everything I'm seeing out of the FCL. It is exactly what we needed. We needed our own NXT, and that's what it is. And it's growing organically. It's a small but mighty following in the live chat on Twitch when the matches premiere, and I'm seeing more and more of a groundswell for it. So I'm just thankful it exists, and it's a great way to experiment with these new slices too. So I'll be tuning in for that one.
Yeah, I can't wait for y'all to see that Fast and Furious slice in Schmoedown because we got it there.
Oh, Parker and I know that slice from the fan
We
leagues.
do. Yeah.
Now this is a little of a tangent. I just want to go off on a tangent real quick because we've had 2 big matches in Star Wars and IG, and I just want to get your guys' thoughts. What was your guy like Parker? Obviously, with Mara coming back and winning the belt, how was your and I want to get both of your answers. How was it to see her back? And then a lot of people say, well, she might have ring rust, and she just owned that match. Like it was amazing to watch. What were your guys' thoughts on that match?
I'll go first. I was ecstatic. Yeah. Mara and I have become pretty close friends over the last few months. I mean, like I said, we've been working together for a while now since we, the dungeon sort of crew came together relatively last minute. But once it did, we gelled super quick. I mean, Mara and I, the weeks leading up to her match, were working together night after night. Like we worked very hard, and I'm not taking credit for anything. She worked very, very hard without me. She played the match incredibly, and yeah, she deserved every second of it. I was so happy for her. I was sweating. Like I could not, while she was playing the match, I honestly couldn't watch. I couldn't listen. I couldn't think of anything at all. I just had to like distract myself for a little while. But she deserves it, and she works so hard and gives so much, and I was so proud of her.
Awesome.
That match was so exciting to watch because we'd all, as fans, been waiting for Mara to return for a long time, and the buildup was tremendous. And her cashing in on that was comparable to a free-for-all cash-in. There was no time limits. And the question at the time was, is she going to be rusty, all this stuff? But I think her arrival with the new categories was perfect for her because, while Mara would be the first to say she doesn't want to compete in singles, she sells herself short. She's a movie fan, I can tell. And it showed in that free-for-all. And these new categories play to her strengths, I think. Look, I'm not happy about, and we'll get to it later. I'm not happy about not having my good friend the belt with me at the time, at the moment. But there's a reason why all that gold's under one roof right now, and the talent feeds talent.
Yeah, right. No, and Mara, she was holding her own with Ben. I know the faction made of Robert Parker, but like Mara was really kicking ass in the free for all. I thought she was going to stick around for longer than she did because I'm like, it's cool seeing Mara in the free for all. But then, she's out here matching Ben every round. I'm like,
she outscored 3 singles/teams champions in the same round.
Did she go perfect in her first round, Robert?
I don't think it was perfect. I think it was 4 and everybody else got 3. Don't quote me on that. I haven't rewatched it. But, I mean, her and Ben tied, and she outscored JTE, Meyer, and Snyder.
Yeah, that's right.
That's impressive. I don't care if it's only 5 questions of I don't care if it's a small sample size. That's impressive. I don't care who you are.
Mm-hmm. That's very impressive. And then because Adam, you said you're a Star Wars fan, and obviously Parker, Star Wars is an inner geekdom. What did you guys think about Alex Damon versus Demolanta? And are you excited about Alex Damon and Demolanta too? Are the question writers going to have enough questions for those two? Because I don't know if they are.
Yeah, they might default to Transformers questions in the speed round.
Yeah, right. That Fast and Furious.
I mean, that match was in a category of its own. When I saw fans on the Facebook page saying what was better, Merle versus Collins 2 or Demolanta versus Damon, I'm like, well, I mean that's not fair. How am I supposed to compete with that? No, honestly, Star Wars is in a league of its own, literally, for a very specific reason. And they both essentially went perfect. We all know Damon knew the answer. It was just a matter of the Schmoedown being the Schmoedown, the game that it is. You can't get it written down in sudden death. You lose. And that was the thrill of it. I feel for Demolanta because he just got that belt and he has to play a beloved former champion right away to defend it.
Yeah. Right.
No pressure, Andrew. But I wish him all the best. I think Demolanta, he's already a legend because he dethroned the most dominant champion we've seen in any division in terms of retention, in defenses. I mean, so that match blew me away.
Yeah. I'm still not even sure it really happened. Like I for a long time always just said, "Oh, Damon's unbeatable." I was one of those people, and I really believe it, and I still kind of do. And I'm still not sure it really happened the way it did. I think I might have been seeing double or something. I'm still in shock. But yeah, credit where credit's due. Demonta killed it, and I think he has the capability to do it again. Will he? Who knows? He works his butt off. He takes the game very, very, very seriously. Alex cares a lot too. I think Alex losing maybe ignited a fire that we haven't seen in him for a couple seasons. Like, you know, he was the kind of guy who was just going through the flow, but he cared and he worked hard for it, but he, seemed a little bit to resting on his laurels. And now that those laurels have been taken away, maybe he wants them back. And I can very much, it's a toss up. It's a coin flip, as it always is in any Star Wars match where both players are insanely good.
I mean, that's what happened when we talked about it on this show. Like, we were all conflicted because, Damon's been the champ for literal years. And I know, like, Matt and I don't have the same connection to Demonta as Suge does. But it was still hard as hell to decipher, like, does anyone even have, like, the edge? I know Damon obviously has the advantage because he's the champion. But even then, like, Star Wars is such a smorgasbord of the weirdest things you have to pull from that universe. And I mean, like Adam, you're talking about going into Star Wars. Shit, I wouldn't blame you for taking a step back after watching that. Like, just me as a fan, I'm like, and I've been on this show multiple times saying, like, Star Wars, I thought for the longest time, like, I thought it was the weakest of the divisions until the tournament last year, where it just slapped me across the face and said I didn't know what I was talking about. And now it's like, well, damn, it's such a crux of the Schmoedown. That match being probably the best match ever. I thought it was Whitler Knapsack from a few years ago, the Iron Man match. But then they said, oh, okay, yeah, hold my belt. And then they got that stunner in the digital age of all things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like that. I know the digital stuff ain't easy, and both of y'all are no stranger to it, but damn, what a match.
Yeah, the rematch is going to be interesting. And, not for nothing, last year was the first time with the tournament that Star Wars really had the light is maybe not the right word I'm thinking of, but, had the opportunity to shine. It was the first time, right? It's the first time ever that division had more than 3-4 matches over the whole year. Yeah. There were more Star Wars matches last season than there were in all divisions combined. Right, exactly. That's spot on.
Nerd Chronic nailing it with the comments.
Right. It took a while for them to gather the players who were going to put in the time and be lethal, and now they have a lot of them. It's an abundance of riches, including all the rookies. I mean, the Star Wars rookies this year are maybe stronger than the rookies in every division. The Star Wars rookies this year, I think you can make the argument that they're better than the IG rookies, better than the singles and teams rookies. It's a long season to go, but with the first few matches under our belt, statistically, I think that's probably true. So we'll see. We'll see how this year shakes out.
Now,
don't be surprised if you see a different Damon with the belt by the end of the year, though.
Oh, I mean, we saw what happened when Laura Kelly had something to say about it, but we'll see. There's still lots of season left, 100%. But one quick shout out to Nerd Chronic on the chat. I was saying they should just throw Spaceballs questions into the rematch.
Well, Spaceballs and Galaxy Quest belong in IG definitively, in my opinion. Those two movies specifically, I think, earn their place in IG.
Like as standalone.
I think in mixed and like fantasy sci-fi mixed bag.
Are they not in IG?
No.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. How about that? Speaking of IG, it took a while for IG players to contend, or at least to build strong contenders. And yeah, that happened last year too. Talk about showcases. IG got a showcase too. During that whole tournament. Like, it made stars. Like folks like Greg Alba, who I know were around with the Real Rejects. I thought, like, yo, he's no joke in Geekdom. Like, he's nothing to be dissed at either. So
Nerd Chronic agrees with you, and so do I. So
Nerd Chronic, shout to real MVP of our
show. Now here's where I'm gonna lose the crowd. I also really want Masters of the Universe to be in fantasy sci-fi and IG.
What? Whoa.
Okay, because I get a little pushback in my own faction on that one from someone who will remain nameless, but I want that one in there.
Mike Kalinowski, let's just be honest.
No names. We're not gonna. This is a corruption slander free zone.
It's not slander. It's taking a guess.
Yeah, cool it. Just calm down, man.
It's an educated guess based off of how Mike talks whenever Christian brings up Masters of the Universe,
which probably is all the time. But Adam, going on to that match you had against Dan. I mean, because you had the best match of last year, and another slept-on sleeper hit with your match against the Kid, by the way, in the singles tournament.
Yeah,
I thought that match
very underrated.
Ruled. But the match against Dan, that happened not too long ago, like it was. I don't know about you guys, but it kind of felt more challenging this time around. Watching as a fan, I don't know about you, Adam. I know you're out here you're the champion now, and you're facing off against the greatest of all time. Did this feel like a whole different type of energy compared to when you went into it with Dan the first time?
I mean, yeah, in the sense that, it's my sophomore season. I've been sitting around waiting for a match for months. That being said, I was as sharp as I was ever going to be. There was no not to leap to the end, but the question I lost fair and square. I didn't know it, and there was that is what it is. We all lose that way eventually, and it was a lesson learned, and I've taken it to heart. But as far as the way the match felt, yeah, it felt different because right from the first question, I was like, okay, all right. I see what's going on here.
When I heard him miss that first question, I honestly was like, okay, Adam won. And this was someone who, no offense, I wanted Dan to win. I'm a big Dan fan.
Everyone wants Dan to win. I don't take that personally. I mean, it's Dan. It's
but
Dan. All right.
But no, because we normally watch those together, and I remember watching because I took a guess at the answer, and our buddy Quisho who's watching with us, he's like, no, that's right, and we're just sitting there. I'm like, no, he's just playing it off, and you use that third repeat, and it's getting to the time. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. No, it's tough. It's tough because in the moment, it sucks because it comes down to the question you lose on. And I'm not here to make excuses about it at all. I've since watched the film. I'll never miss a question about that movie again. If you go on Letterboxd, follow me. My name's right there because I have a series of reviews with a hashtag called Schmoedown Humility Watch. And you got that on there. You got Far and Away. You got Body of Lies. There's a whole bunch of hits on that.
Soon to be Bumblebee.
Bumblebee's going to be on there. I'm also going to do a hashtag for that called.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a 4 to 5 star review. Just saying.
Yes. But I'm also going to do a new hashtag for that called Diving Films.
Gotcha.
But the thing I'm proud of is I know I can look back on that match. I missed 2 questions. The whole match. I had 92% accuracy. That didn't win me the match, but it means that every time Dan and I plays, he knows I can win, and that's enough for me. Dan's been a true champion behind the scenes, as everyone would expect. I don't know him at the level of his fellow dungeon heads, but getting to know him a little bit better since we first played has been an honor and just so cool. And I hope to get to know him better, and I hope to play him again, whether that's in teams, singles, or IG, whatever. I just want to keep playing the guy because as serious as we take it, we both are having the time of our lives when we play each other.
And you can tell when you watch, it's y'all playful with one another. There's no real bitterness because it's game respect game. Obviously, y'all are killers at movie trivia. It's just the first time you bested Dan by 1 question. The second time he bested you by 1 question. Now the third matchup is just slug it out, 60-minute Iron Man match in a steel cage, the first studio match back. I'm all for that.
No.
I'm
first
all for that.
Live event, Chris. Think big picture.
Yeah, live event. And the steel cage still has to be there, so we have to do it in Houston at Booker T's gym. I mean, we can make it work.
I mean, we already know the first live events in New York, so we'll just have to find some. Hey, where did Bonesaw play in Spider-Man?
Yeah, right. I mean, we can make it like a Bonesaw type of thing. I can do the Bonesaw. Yeah, we can do that. But
where the glass? Where the glass?
I don't have them with me. I would, but no, seriously, Adam. The both of you guys are no stranger to just excelling in the categories or excelling in the divisions you're in. Obviously, y'all have this reputation of absolutely being killers in inner geekdom and singles and teams respectively. But now I think everyone says this, and it's no secret that in the Schmoedown nowadays you have to play at least like 90% accuracy to take a W. That's what it feels like, because that's how strong the competition is. Like we see Collins, we see Adam, your match against Dan, both of them. Like Robert, you see what Inner Geekdom is capable of doing. We see what you're capable of doing in Inner Geekdom. And I guarantee this match with Brandon, which again, we're not going to spoil it because we haven't seen it. The match against
Become
Brandon,
a patron today. And you
yes,
can see it.
We are.
Then you can see it, yeah.
baby.
We are all patrons, but Chris and I have a strict rule of not checking to see who won.
Right. So I bet
we're
that
like
match
the
against
only
Brandon
Monday
is
show.
nuts. I bet it's nuts. But the level of play is probably the best it's been. And Robert, you were saying earlier, the pandemic did a lot of things for the Schmoedown. It brought the competition. Like you gotta bring it. You can't come in here with base knowledge now and expect to succeed. Like you gotta absolutely kill it. And both of y'all are no strangers of that. Both of y'all are two good examples of it.
Yeah. Real quick, we got the Regent himself, Clear Cleek. What's good, spinsters? I know Collins has at least had a conversation with the Regent, but
we're losing you, Matt, by the way.
Oh no.
Yeah, you sound like Optimus Prime. No, Bumblebee.
I'm gonna do a reset real quick.
Word.
But kind of going, and we'll talk about, obviously, like we said, Robert's having a match with Hannah. Adam, I wanted to ask you, well, we'll actually go into it before we go into Adam's path back to the singles title. Parker, you're going to be playing Hannah. Mm-hmm. What, like we said, this guy's the one that's been ducking you. You know, we know the story last year. Is this kind of like because like you said, you only played one match. Well, you played 2 matches last year. I don't consider the Ace match a match because that was just a massacre.
It was a stomp. It was a stomp.
And I had to interview Ace for the first time right after that after we saw that match. And I go, "Do you want to talk about it?" And he's like, "Yeah, we'll talk about it." I was like, "Man, I don't want to talk about it because that match was, good Lord, that match was."
Well, now he's great. Like he's a killer now. Like Ace is a
right?
killer.
Right,
it's because of Parker that he went to.
He's played for a belt before I did, like that.
And you rocked him to his core, and then he reevaluated his life. He's like, you know what, Star Wars is the way to go, and now here he is.
but Robert, what is it? You know, you only got to play the after the chance match. What was your mindset now going into this year? Like, are you like really dead on just like destroying everybody, or is it just like, you know what, one match at a time, or is it, you know, you have a list of people you want to take out? Like, what's your mindset for this year?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely people that I would rather play over others. There's a little bit of a revenge tour in the back of my head, but at the end of the day, my goal is really, really to play for the belt, and also so that's one. That's just my personal goals. I want to play for the belt, and I would really, really love to win it, and that means a lot to me. And that's my number 1 goal. My number 2, 1A, 1B, 1A, 1B. I don't know. Flip them around. Is just helping the rest of the dungeon succeed. And so I would love to play Mara for the belt. I would love to be in her corner every single second of the way, through this next defense of hers, hopefully. And for the rest of the season, I want to help Dan and Bateman as much as I can, and Drew and Hoey, who just played incredibly, and Wit and everybody, even Chris Jericho. I
guess Y2J gets some too.
Right, exactly. He's been
Jericho was amazing in the free-for-all. He was incredible.
Yeah. Right. He should have won the damn thing.
He even asked the final question of the free-for-all to Ben in a study session a couple nights before and just couldn't remember it.
But we love Y2J in this house. We love Y2J.
My goals are definitely play for the belt and hopefully win it and help the rest of the dungeon succeed, whether I have a personal stake in it or not. If we're talking about personal people I want to lay out, Hannah is for sure number 1 on that list. After that, I am taking it one match at a time because you really can't do anything else in the modern era of the Schmoedown, because at any point you could lose to anybody based on and I truly believe that's more so true this season than any season ever before. Really anybody can lose to anybody. In the back of my mind, is there a little bit of a laundry list of people I'd like to knock on their asses? Yeah, I would love to beat Chance up. I would love to take Chandra out. I still don't feel like the dungeon's done with him yet. I would love to take on Mike. Alex Damon, I think, would be a great match. Barbarian, I don't think our paths are as entwined right now, but it's possible. There's a short list. I have some nominees.
Thank you, Robert, for leaving Goddard alone. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, he's
He's had enough. He's had enough around.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. If he wants more, he can come get it. But
I personally, I really, just as a fan, I am hoping at some point you collide with Saul or Chandru for entertainment value alone.
Saul would be fun too.
Yeah. If Saul keeps playing the way he's playing and can work his way up to you, that would be amazing to see you guys play.
Doubt.
You're right. He's not just scary in terms of how much he's improved. He's good on the mic. And I'm not. If I had to play him,
and also massive beard envy. Like it's got to be said.
Yeah,
well, you got a good beard growing. Both of you guys.
It's no Saul. Beard, Saul's beard is my face. Like
yeah, Saul is Tormund Giantsbane. He's
absolutely.
He's like the real deal. He's the real deal.
Yeah, no. And for you, Adam, we obviously know you lost the belt, and because you didn't.
Did I?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No, that's the darkest timeline.
I don't believe
that's a different timeline. But you didn't since you didn't get to defend it more than a couple times. I think you're still ranked number 1, but you'll have to go through a path. And obviously now what happened with Free For All with Oyama, it's kind of a weird situation for you, for Roka, for Ethan. I think who do we else, Chris? We named in that top 4. It was Adam,
Bateman, I think
Roka, Bateman, who's the other one. No, well, with the Oyama, he's kind of like.
I mean, he has it set now, but
yeah, but it's Adam, Bateman, Roka, and Irwin. Like, what did you think your path is? Like, I think, we've talked about in the show. Obviously, I think you need to get one match in, and then you get an automatic number 1 contender match. Where do you think your path lies?
Yeah, it's up in the air right now. I am ranked number 1, but the thing is, Dan justifiably got a rematch with me after one number 1 contenders match. I mean, he's a multiple-time champion. He defended twice. It was warranted. If I had to play more than one match to get back to play him, I wouldn't be furious about it just because I'm 7-1, but I also didn't defend. And there's a lot of good players towards the top right now. I also don't, as much as I want to play Dan again, I think it's important to give it time to breathe. I don't necessarily think it's the best thing for the game for me to play Dan for the belt tomorrow again. We've played twice. I'm proud of both matches, and we are going to play again in some capacity. But Paul Oyama's having a moment, and he's earned his moment, and he's in the perfect spot to let the number 1 contender path play out and pick up points for swag, and also cash in on his shot whenever he wants. So he's sitting pretty, and he's got the talent to back it up. Then you have Irwin, Bateman, and Roka, all former champions. If I was offered the opportunity to play into that pool, I would take it, but I don't know how that's going to play out right now. And I also know we got people like Kevin Smith, who's 3-0. I know he has to pick up at least 1 or 2 more wins before he could get a title shot, but there's a lot that has to play out. I'm all focused on teams right now.
You can play Dan there.
Yeah, I could play Dan there. But I'm really determined to show Deception's determined to show everybody why we fought tooth and nail to remain a team. And IG is a personal goal of mine, as I've said. And this will give me the opportunity to debut in IG, hopefully, while the singles stuff plays out. I'm not going anywhere in singles. As soon as Christian gives me another match in singles, I will win it. And then I will win the next one. And then I will get my belt back, whether it's from Dan or somebody else. I don't care. But for now, I'm going to relax a little bit and play with my the best partner in the game, Lady Justice Marisol McKee.
Damn right. Who also is no stranger to doing good in the free for all either. She played great.
Yeah, she did. She did real good. And go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Oh no, Adam, you're gonna say something?
No, I mean she's great at it every time she plays.
That too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And that's awesome to hear, Adam, because I like the fact, and I think you're right, giving it some room to breathe. Because look, let's be honest, as fans, if you play, let's say you play Bateman, and that's a great match, you beat him.
Don't do that
more time in it. He's a Bateman fan too. How can you be a Corruption fan and a Bateman fan? That doesn't even make any sense.
Team Action was my first favorite team. Corruption, I hitched my car to their wagon while they were at the bottom last year. Matt is my witness, and I mean we all saw the rise. My ego got bigger and bigger and bigger. It was this whole thing.
Like I'm honestly the one who dragged Chris back into this space because we had talked about doing something, and then Mark's is like, "Yeah, I still haven't watched a single thing." I was like, "Bro, just do it." 3 months later, no, not even 3 months. 3 weeks later, I'm a Corruption stan. Let's get this going.
Shannon's the shit. She's like, for her first season as a manager, she was a fantastic manager. Obviously, Exhibit A down there. Mike and Chance are great at what they do in all three divisions. No offense, Robert, but I mean, like, damn, and the Corruption's the shit. They may not be doing the best right now, but just give it time. The season's 2 months in. Come on, we got a lot of time left.
Granted, Suge, I'm a swag fan and an exchange fan. It just happens. You have your two factions. Most people do.
That's true. I got the Den and I got Corruption. Yeah.
And speaking of the Den,
I thought you were a Droogs guy.
He was the Droogs guy, but
Saul is the guy. Christian.
We gotta stop saying his name. First of all, I don't know what I did to Saul.
Is he like the Candyman? Is that what happens here?
Yeah, you can't. If you say
Saul,
he shows up.
If Saul showed up in my bathroom mirror. Oh God!
Saul randomly showed up on our revived Star Wars show the other day, which freaked me out.
Yeah, I mean, Toby Barkwell, host of Saber Reels, he was like, "Who is that Saul guy?" And
I was like, "That's remember Saul from Collider Live?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's Saul." He's
that's
like,
him.
Oh,
that scary, that terrifying man. He's great on the stick. He's great in movie trivia, but GG. If I saw Saul in Dark Alley,
dog got the bacon to me.
Yeah, but if I saw Saul down a dark alley, I'm turning the other way and walking. Like, I'm running. Like that.
I survived walking down a dark alley with Saul and Dagnino when I was just
humble
a fan.
brag.
Wait.
I was just a fan. Yeah.
You trusted yourself to walk down an alley with Dagnino.
I was just trying to get to the after party, man.
Word.
Oh, wait. You trusted Dagnino to be able to take you to the after party.
That was.
I trusted Dagnino to be able to take you to a after party. I don't know if it's the
right
after party.
I was like, if this is the way I go, this is the way I go. You know. Saul's a good dude when he likes you. Don't get on his bad side.
Apparently, he don't like me anymore. I thought we were cool. I thought Saul and I were cool.
I know that for sure. But. So now, like we talked about Adam's path, we talked about Robert's path. What has been like some of the moments this year that you guys have like really enjoyed, or a match that you really enjoyed this year? Obviously, Adam, you had two of the best matches of the year, so you can't pick your own. But what are some of the matches you guys have enjoyed, or something that you're really excited for, a storyline that you're excited for, or maybe something that you, like you said, Deception's getting ready to show? Because a lot of people were on Deception after they lost, saying, "Oh, well, look at Adam. He can't answer a 3-pointer, and Marisol carried him." What do you say to those fans?
Marisol carries me all the time. I'm not ashamed to admit that. No, honestly, she's my partner for a reason. I moved heaven and earth to make sure that she stayed on Corruption, and so did Shannon. And you're going to see why in this team's tournament. And as long as Dan and Ben do their jobs, as I'm sure they're getting trained to do, I hope that we're fortunate enough to collide with them at some point, because that would be rich. I'm not worried about it. The thing is, like, people can, assign any narrative they want. The bottom line is, you don't know what I actually know. Nobody does. And the questions I've missed, the 5-pointers I've missed, in my opinion, to be completely blunt about it, I think the perfect murder question was easier than the other 2 5-pointers I missed by a mile.
Yep.
And on a different day, I probably could have gotten that through deductive reasoning, but I didn't. Barbara Babcock was an insane question. And Safe was not an insane question, but that's an incredibly forgettable movie. Oh. Hey, there she is.
And her back hurts from carrying Deception. Okay, cool.
I weigh 275 pounds. But like, honestly, I'm not worried about whatever narrative people want to assign because we're gonna keep winning. That's what we're engineered to do.
Yeah, and to be fair, all it takes is one win on each side for you to get that clash that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
we got the announcement that we have a lot of matches this month in May coming out. Like, Christian decided to overwork after shows again, where we're not gonna have like
Christian. I'm gonna be making, you mean Grace?
Yeah, Grace, I forget. My bad.
How dare you? Put some respect on the president's name and Jay Washington, our commissioner. Come on, Suge, you're better than that.
And I try to be better than that. But I see hot. I see whatever. You know what the hell I meant, Ferris?
What did you say? Oh, you said get hot and icy. Oh,
yeah, hot and icy. Word. I don't know. I've never had to use it. I'm not old. Okay.
Marisol knew what you meant. She knew what you meant.
Yeah, Marisol knew what I meant. See,
and it's about that Bengay. That's where the party's at. Bengay, some aloe vera. You know, like that. That's where the party's at. But I mean, should we talk about last week's match?
Yeah, because I do want to talk to Collins about these because one, we had 4 rookies debut. One being a fan league friend of his in Jacoby Bancroft, a teammate of his, and Jacob London. And I mean, both of you guys know what the pressure's like for those rookie debuts. So we'll start off with the first match. What was your thoughts on the Beth May Just Schloth match?
Parker, I've been babbling long enough. You go.
Oh, I was just gonna play chicken until you started talking. I thought they both played well. You know, it's tough with rookies a lot of the times, and that has been the case since 2017. Like sometimes they play mediocre, and that's what's expected. And sometimes they blow you out of the water. Both these ladies played, I think, very well for the categories they were saddled with. I don't think either of them got strengths or by any means in round 2.
They both spun opponent's choice, right?
Right, exactly. That's not and that does not happen very often.
Right.
But both played well. Definitely both personalities that are going to be good to have around. I think both of them. We don't talk about it enough, I think, because so many of the top tier players, especially, just sort of fit in with their factions very easily. But for the right player to end up on the right faction is not an easy thing to have happen. And I think both of these people were on the right faction, if that makes sense. There's never really any, big animosity towards managers or anything like that. But if the manager and the player don't gel, that makes a difference. And I thought both managers just managed a rookie very well, which is harder to do than managing a 10-time champion. So I thought both managers showed what they were made of, and both players played well.
Yeah, Beth and Jessica showed a lot of panache in that match. I was really impressed because those both of them getting opponent's choice and getting 2 of the steeper categories that rookies would ever be saddled with, let alone their first matches. It made the match exciting to watch because of the way they were trading steals. And then for Beth May to get her 5-pointer, for both of them to get their 5-pointers in their first match, I think it showed their tenacity, and I'm really excited to see them play again. So hats off to both of them. I was impressed with them.
I loved Beth May's promo that she did, because I mean, what else?
Her promo was excellent.
Like, what do we expect out of her? I mean, we saw what she was capable of doing before the draft even happened. That's how she got her name out there by putting I don't know if that's her, if that's her persona that she put on for the thing. But if that's her or if that's a persona, she's nailing it. She fits right into what the Schmoedown is doing. And as someone who I love the characters in this thing, that's what the Schmoedown and its characters are what drive the entertainment value for obvious reasons. But Beth, when I watched her promo before the match, I'm like, oh my God, this is hysterical. This is so funny. I don't know what else we expected. But Schloth and May, I know May didn't have the best first round. She only got 4 out of the 8. But still, she fought her way back in the 3rd round, which some rookies this year can't say they've done. There are some rookies that have gone 0 for 3. Panache is a great word for that match. For real, Corey. But we saw some rookies go 0 for 3 in their 3rd round categories, in their 3rd round questions. So seeing both of these ladies nail their 5, it's well, damn. I'm over here watching, I don't know what the hell these questions are. Like, good on them. Like it's great to watch, especially Schloth. Like when we got to meet her on Saturday during our free for all thing, that was the first time we had met her, like, or we knew anything about her. So getting to talk to her and just really just watching her play. It's like, yo, like the den, like Shook, I don't want to be the den show for a minute, but and Beth does seem like the female koi, 100%. Like no one can keep up with their workouts either. But the den has some powerhouses over there, and if this is Schloth's first match, I love to see where she goes from here.
Especially with how she did, like Collins is bringing up, with opponent's choice. It's not like she just was given something that she knew she could work with. It was opponent's choice, and she still came out on top, no issue.
Right?
So,
yeah,
totally
sure.
Yeah, Schloth is really, really sharp, and for what it's worth, Beth May and Jen Kemp are two people who kind of gave me a little bit of inspiration to have a little more fun with my promos this year, and they're really they're trendsetters, and they deserve credit for that.
Jen's great. I mean, just her showing up at the free for all in a onesie, I'm like, that's the party's at. Like seriously,
and she showed out. And
I thought she was gonna win the damn thing.
And her promo last year was one of the best.
Match. Yeah,
the one against Video Drew.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of the
best. And you remember with that match, if Video Drew doesn't like pretty much go perfect, like
Jen wins.
Jen wins, but Video Drew played a great game, and that's what you say, Chris. The characters really drive the Schmoedown, which is awesome. Like a Video Drew, like some of the other characters out there, like a Beth May and everything like that. I was super excited to see them both, and super happy. Like that's the thing this year that I loved is the rookies have been great. The representation has been great. The people that come from the fan leagues are showing out with the Fan League 4. The people that are unknown, even though like Jesse Swift lost, he showed out. Even
right.
You got people.
Jesse also did really well in the free for all.
Yeah,
he had a perfect
He lasted
round.
a full round.
He had a 5-point round.
Jesse killed it.
Yeah,
Jesse did kill it, and I'm trying to send enough money to him to be in his wedding, to be his best man. So, he needs to still let me know a price because I'm going to send him that money. But what was the other match we had? We had Jacob London versus
we did talk a little bit about it with Jacob on Saturday, but like I know Collins, considering he knows both players, probably has a lot to say on this match.
Yeah, I mean Parker and I both know these guys.
I've known Jacob for a long time.
Yeah, and I've gotten to know Jacob really well in a short span of time. And Jacoby, I already knew. We crossed paths a few times. This is a great match. You saw two future stars play in this match, and while I'm glad they both could showcase a lot of talent, like as a fan, I almost kind of wish like we've been able to work up to it a little bit. But the silver lining is you got no Yama Brendan Meyer situation here.
Right.
And you have a chance for them to reunite in a rematch that'll be 10 times as exciting.
Including one of them knocking the other one out of the free-for-all. Pretty sure that happened.
Right.
Got his revenge literally just days later.
It was perfect. I'm happy that Jacob was able to get that poetic victory, not only over Jacoby, but over Bibbs, for the faction anyway. But I mean, Jacoby went perfect. He deserves all the praise he's getting for that. You can't have a better debut than that. And even though Jacob missed his last two questions, I don't think anyone is going to be like trying to play him in singles anytime soon.
Right.
No,
I feel bad for because realistically Christian's probably going to have him play another one of the rookies that lost, and I feel bad for whatever rookie that is.
I want Blunden Lomas. Come on.
I think that's going to be what it is. I really think that's going to be what it is.
Yeah.
I just want to see how Jacob reacts to him. That's the only reason I want that match.
Right. Well, before we continue, we got Robert for a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
Did we have any more questions for Robert or anything like that? I mean, obviously, we've kind of talked about the Hannah match and we talked about stuff like that.
I want to talk to him about how he feels being so high up on the standings right now, considering last year, same thing happened with the exchange. How are you guys prepping yourselves to not pull an exchange from last year?
I think we have legs this year, and the exchange, they were very good last year, but did not have a ton of cross-divisional legs. They did not have people who were going to play for belts, in IG. They did not, they had Dimolanta, but he didn't win the tournament, so he didn't play for a title, he didn't get the chance of those points. They had great singles players, they had great teams players, they had the goods, they just couldn't pull it through. And I think, not for nothing, I think part of that might be on the manager for not putting the right players in the right matches, or not helping influence the decisions behind the scenes. They did not have a manager who was as involved. They had a manager who's, sat back a little bit and just let it unfold, and didn't take an active role in his faction, and it bit him. And we see what's happened now. He's taken a far more active role in his faction this year. Craig obviously being who I'm referring to. And Craig has been doing a very good job managing the exchange. No secret. Yeah, Barbarian has done an excellent job managing the exchange this year. And if he continues to do exactly what he's doing, they're going to keep doing very well.
I mean, they're 8-2. It's hard to argue against that.
Right? Yeah.
If this was last year's point system, you guys would probably be just about neck and neck, instead of them being so far behind for being in second place with a better record.
I really like I really like that higher stakes matches are rewarded with more points. I think that's a really smart change. I don't think a title match should be worth the exact same number of points as a rookie debut. So I do think that was a really good change. And as far as, like I said, I think Kaiser is just far more of an active manager, and we just have more gel and more glue this year than they did have.
Or Adam, you're going to say something?
Just like Dungeon deserves where they're at in the standings right now. There's no argument there. We're no strangers to where we're at either. But what we're proud of in Corruption is the fact that our matches that we played this season, we only have one rookie, and he's Jacob London, and he played Jacoby in his debut. Okay. Mark Hoyk played Griffin Nooms in his debut in singles. We have not gotten any cakewalks this season, and we brought high levels of play, and we're going to keep bringing high levels of play. I think we can say with confidence that anytime you play a member of Corruption, you're going to be on your heels. I think the Finstock exchange, I think their gamble is obviously paying off, because they drafted talented rookies. Yeah, it's paying off for now. They have talented rookies. I'm eager to see where they go after they play multiple matches, and see who rises to the top. But eventually, if they are going to collide with each other if they keep winning. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The Dungeon is interesting because, what Kaiser did is his off-season game was just through the roof in terms of who he drafted, obviously. And it paid off with the title shots and everything. But I'm really excited to see where these contenderships go and how the defenses go. And I also know that we're in trouble once Parker gets more time in IG this season. So
I can say the same. I have said this before, not on air, but I think the Corruption is arguably the most dangerous faction once they get their wheels spinning. Like I said earlier, if you win, you keep winning. If you win, you at least keep playing matches. And it's sort of the Moneyball theory, who gets on base a lot and who gets a lot of matches, people who keep winning. And if Corruption keeps winning and play, if their best players win matches, their best players will get a ton of matches. Mike Kalinowski, if he gets on a streak, will just get tons of matches. Same goes for Chance and Adam and Marisol, and even the depth on your roster as well. Once momentum is a very real thing, not in necessarily the sense of how much you're studying, but in the sense of you keep getting matches. And that matters when, the high stakes matches are the ones that are getting you points. We know it's going to happen at the end of this team's tournament, who they're going to have to play, no matter who it is, right? That's getting winnable matches is the most important thing in the overall faction standings. And I don't think any faction can do that as well as Corruption can once they start winning.
I mean, that's what happened last year. Yeah. Like it took them a second, but once they got there, the train didn't stop. Literally, the season had to end for Corruption to be like, yeah, wait, cool, let's stop winning. But Parker, you said, I mean, you're obviously no stranger to both Blunden and to Bancroft as well. So I would love your 2 cents on this match exactly, because although Blunden took the L, like damn, what a valiant loss. Like it's not like he played bad like at all. I mean, obviously perfect first round. Like he did pretty damn well in the second round as well.
And let's give the Aussie a pass on the American baseball movie. Like just at least in his rookie debut, give him a pass on it.
The Aussie's so cool. He's got a pass for everything, man.
Right. Love Jacob. But Parker, what did you think of the match?
Yeah, honestly, going into the match, I was a little bit worried that Jacob may be a little rusty because he is a former Fan League champion, which means a lot. It was also in like early 2017. Like it's been a long time since he's played a match. And that's still better than having played no matches ever before. Right. But, it has been a long time. And whereas Jacoby has been playing and winning in a lot of different divisions much more recently. Adam and I are both very familiar with Jacoby's, resume across the last couple of years in other leagues. So I thought it was going to be pretty close. My money was on Jacoby just because of the recency, but I knew that Jacob was going to be strong, and he came in, and as soon as he got Oscars, I'm like, well, I know from my experience with him 4 or 5 years ago that he knows this category very, very well. He may very well sweep it. And sometimes, like I was talking about earlier, luck of the questions, does he know sports movies pretty well? Yeah, probably. He just got one that he didn't know. You ask him 10 other 3-pointers in sports movies, he may, I think it was sports, or it was the 90s. I'm pretty sure it was sports movies. They'll leave their own question. But, you ask him 10 more, he might hit half of them, or 7 of them, or 8 of them. And this just happened to be one that he didn't. So, good match all around, though. Jacoby, and he more than,
And I'd say Blunden redeemed himself in that free-for-all as well.
Absolutely. And that, you said it perfectly. It very much is shades of Meyer Oyama, where both of them, after their debuts, both of them played well in their debuts, and both of them went on to win titles. So,
right.
I do gotta say, and I told Jacob this when we had him on our actor stream on Saturday. To me personally, he was the MVP. I get why they gave it to Bateman, but Blunden was my MVP. That's the guy I felt deserved it personally. Because you're coming off a loss, technically, you knock out that specific table and you play and you keep surviving rounds. Like
not a lot of guy homes on against Bateman,
right?
If he had lasted more rounds, he would have had a better shot of winning it. Yeah. I think Moment was a great thing to give him at the very least because it was the moment, in my opinion, of the free for all. If he hadn't done that, it would have been Bibbs knocking the rest of us out. But Blunden doing it as a rookie and eliminating Bibbs, Griffin, Liz Shannon Miller, and I'm spacing on the fourth. But
you said Newman? Oh, wasn't it? No, it wasn't May.
Yeah, I don't recall.
I'm just going to go to the event.
But those three alone, amazing feat. These guys are going to be in this league a long time. They're exactly where they belong.
Yeah. It was Jacoby, guys.
Oh, duh.
The revenge.
Right. Who's that Bancroft guy?
I really don't. Frankly, I don't know who that is. But like, London did have like a great showing, and honestly, just like after that weekend, they played one another. Yet he took the loss, but people were talking about Blunden more come Sunday morning. And that's what speaks louder. Like that's louder than no offense to Jacoby, but Blunden took everybody's hearts that week.
And look, I'll tell you guys this: I don't. Chance had a scheduling conflict, and Blunden stepped in for us, and now we have a star. Look at that.
Right. It's another star-making performance over there at the Corruption. But unfortunately, we do have to let one of our stars go.
Yes.
Robert Parker, man. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thanks
We really do appreciate you, brother.
Class.
And good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully, we can have you on again soon. But specifically against Brandon Hanna, good luck, brother.
Nice,
kick ass.
Thank you very much. And thank you guys very much for having me on. Great to see you again. Adam, it's been a while. Great to see you again, too.
You too, Robert. We'll be seeing you around.
Yeah, take it easy, folks.
Later, brother. What a guy, Robert Parker.
What a guy.
Greg,
And
so there's a joke that we had with Robert Parker when he first was going to come into the league that we were going to, and Ferris is in the chat, that we were going to cuss him out. And we did it. We did a show because we used to pre-tape our shows. We did it. And then I told our editor, I said, cut that out. Because I think if we do it, all the league's going to come after us. And I don't want to get in trouble. And we were just a new podcast. We're like, cut it out. Like we went after Parker. So
how do you think I felt when Matt was over here like, man, I want to see Collins play more matches. But I'm like, no, man, like, come on, like, go buy the hype.
You gotta throw me under the bus. This is like the first opportunity you've ever had to do it.
And so I gotta do it, yo. Like I'll be the first person to swallow my pride when it comes. Like I was wrong about Liz Shannon Miller. I was wrong. I was the one riding Liz Shannon Miller hype. You were riding the Collins hype. We each had our own hype trains last year. And your winner. I mean, we got that matchup. But let's move on to Friday. Look, we got the matchup on Friday with a returning Josh, the former engineer, JTE.
Real quick, I did want to bring this up while we were still on the subject of, because we were talking a little free for all.
Yeah, by all means.
Meat Bo or Meat Boy brought this up. Should the MVP go to the player with the most accumulated points and not the most rounds survived?
I mean, we kind of saw that with the horror free for all. To go back to that for a second, which again, congratulations, Adam. We saw that with Hoik, right? Like he was on fire the whole time,
and he kicked ass in this other free for all too. Yeah, people aren't talking about that enough. He had like 3 or 4 perfect rounds.
Right. So like Hoik is a monster, right, when it comes to the free for all format. And if I'm not mistaken, like if he didn't have the most accumulative points, like he was damn close to you, Adam. I forget who came out first in regards to Hoik.
I had more points than him overall, but if he'd come in earlier, it would have been about the same.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, Hoik is a monster, but in regards to the question with the points thing, no, I think it should go to most rounds survived because you're facing off against all these folks, and yeah, you may slip by, but damn, you make it through.
The points are going to go hand in hand if you last.
Right, and that's what I was about to say.
Like because Bateman did earn the most points, and he lasted the most rounds in the end. I don't like Dungeon getting those points. Hate it.
I think a lot of us feel that way.
But he earned them.
Right. At the end of the day, like
in the sense that he lasted more rounds than Bibbs, and there's no qualifiers or challenges or anything in the free for all. It's a different style of game. So I think with what Bateman accomplished and the drama of going down to the wire, he and Oyama with their narrative, it's a good story. And I want to beat the living snot out of Ben Bateman if I play him. But it doesn't mean I can pretend the statistics aren't the statistics.
No.
The day Adam Collins plays Ben Bateman, my brain will melt.
Oh, it's
gonna be great.
That's the day we get Chris going like last week when he's like, a white man will win this match. Because we were trying to call the Goddard JTE match last week, and he's like, I will say this. A white guy will win the match.
Well, Goddard is,
and that's what Suge and I said. That's what Suge and I said. Chris is like, I'm half black. You trying to tell me I'm not black? It's like, that's not the point, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like just because I'm half doesn't mean I'm not like the other half that you want me to be that day. So for the sake of
but you're Latino and black. He's still Latino and white. There's no saying someone's just white when there's something mixed in there. I claim black and I'm half white.
Look, I'm not going to have this semantics argument about race on Spin from the Real Schmoedown Reaction Show.
Why not? We're the most diverse after show.
Look, I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, speaking of Goddard JT, let's talk about that one.
Do we have to talk about?
Well, yeah, and JTE is part Ecuadorian, right?
Yeah, I think
yes.
So that's, I mean, hey,
There's a lot of diversity.
Still, a half Hispanic or a half white guy won. If you want to look at it that way.
Yeah.
This
Ecuadorian
really
guy won that day.
We're talking about the most important stuff in the Schmoedown.
Yeah,
Yes,
this really takes me back. I have to find the soundbite, and Ferris knows this, where we were gonna interview Parker, but I had gotten an argument with somebody earlier about Goddard, and I was like, he's half Mexican. They're like, no, he's not. He's like Spanish. And we did a live show, and I asked Goddard, I go, what are you? He's like, I'm French and Mexican. And I said, I told you. And Adam, we're gonna go interview Parker. He goes, find out what race he is. It was amazing. Adam Witt is absolutely amazing. But yeah, the Goddard, I don't want to talk about the Goddard.
Why can't we talk about Goddard GTE?
Because
it hurts my soul.
And I once again picked correctly. Y'all are falling behind in the standings.
First off, hold on. I want to ask Adam this question. Because this is really
the reason. Let him answer the question.
No. That 5-pointer for JTE was, and I don't like to criticize the writers, but when they give Enter the Dragon, it just gives them the answer. Am I not lying?
The views of Suge Knight do not reflect. Oh shit, we can't say that anymore.
No, he can't. He can't say that anymore.
Look, Suge. Jim Kelly seems easy to a lot of people. The thing is, I don't blame you for thinking that's an easy question. Jim Kelly is a very established actor from his era. With a lot of great genre films. But I think there's a lot of Schmoedown players who would miss that question. I do. I think there's a lot of Schmoedown players who don't want to admit they missed that question.
Well, I think what also plays into it is that Kung Fu movies are one of JTE's strengths.
They are, and that played heavily into the match. But he got the points. And, you know, Stephen Chow is something that seems very gettable to people who are fans of martial arts films, but that's why he stuck with the slice. And it's a broad slice. That was ballsy.
And a brand new, well, it wasn't that ballsy because it is a brand new slice. It is
brand new. It is brand new, but martial arts is still pretty broad.
I know, but if you're someone who knows martial arts and it's the first time the slice is being used, you know you're going to get more surface level questions.
By the way, Matt, I love that sentence because it makes it sound like JT is like a master at martial arts, not just martial arts movies. Like, I love how you phrase that question. But
no, I do want to bring up Leo Logan's comment again. How about the Princess Diary 2 question that both missed in round one? I wasn't fooled because Chris Pine was not in the original.
I knew the answer because of Chris Pine, but that's why the question was brilliant.
See, those are one of those poison pills PJ puts in there. It's like, I'm gonna throw something just right in there to just throw you off a little bit.
Well, that's what I knew what he was doing with Robert Downey Jr. in my match with Dan. I was like, I picked that up right away. I was like, please miss it, and he did, but it didn't matter in the end. But yeah, I was initially happy about that.
With this matchup, like, to me, they both played great. If you really look at the numbers, you look at the, it just came down to, like Adam said, Ben Goddard lost fair and square. He lost to a 5-pointer. That's just Schmoedown. You just don't know it. And I obviously, I'm a Den shill. I talked to Goddard, and he just said I just didn't know it. He's like,
Red Sparrow is out of a lot of people's minds. And
it is crazy? Jennifer Lawrence's most forgettable film.
It's not streaming anywhere right now, not even for like pay to rent. It's weird. I looked it up after that match. I was like, I still haven't seen that. I knew the cast, but I was like, I haven't seen it. I know it's not supposed to be great. You can't even like pay to rent on Amazon. I from what I checked, I was like, this is weird. That happens sometimes. Well, I have one of my most passionate hobbies is finding physical media for movies that aren't streaming. So when it comes to Schmoedown movies, I get a real kick out of seeking out movies that aren't streaming everywhere. That are legit questions, movies to ask questions about, but they're harder to find.
Eddie Dalton instead of Timothy Dalton. Yep.
One hell of a
that was a great moment. Yeah.
It is on Amazon. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah. My mistake.
He's still gonna buy the physical though.
Yeah. But it's not streaming for free anywhere, right?
No, it's not, no. If you have Hulu premium subscriptions, well, my guess Hulu Live, you can watch it that way.
We all gotta just stop everything we're doing and watch Red Sparrow. Let's get to work.
This is just about
we have to watch Bumblebee, Adam. Bumblebee.
Yes, a really enjoyable film. Hashtag.
Well, we'll watch Bumblebee after we do Chris, me, and Corey. As we're going to do Ghost.
We're doing Ghost.
I can't wait for Bumblebee. Bumblebee 2 in the deep end.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Hold on. Are you going to try to bring Collins on for that Ghost watch along?
You want to watch Ghost with us, Adam?
I'm a big Swayze guy, so I'll watch it.
Let's go. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll put a pin in this.
He deserves a slice.
Yes, he does.
Right. I'm kidding.
I mean, I haven't seen Ghost, but I mean, I guarantee that man's still sexy in it, so he deserves his own slice. But in regards to this match with Goddard and JT, so Suge, I don't know why I didn't want to talk about this match because Goddard did still play well.
He played well.
No, he did play well. It's just a Den loss, and I'm a little salty about it because I thought Goddard had it. I thought Goddard was really playing well. He was, and obviously he missed a couple questions, and he even said it. Those questions that he missed in the first round, the Princess, or not the Princess Diary, what is it called? The Princess Diary 2. Yeah, mm-hmm. Princess Diary 2. He said it wouldn't have made a difference that he didn't get that. So it's just. I didn't think JT was going to be as sharp as he was coming back. I thought JT was going to look a little sluggish.
Like
McLeany. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well,
that's what
I really, when they asked the Princess Diaries question, I was really hoping JT would write Princess Diaries 2, the escape clause. That would have killed me. I was like crossing my fingers. Simply.
So that's the only reason. That's the only reason that match bugged me because I thought Goddard played such a great game. And to lose a 5-pointer, and it's the same thing with Adam. Like you watch that game against Dan Murrell, Adam plays a great game, and for it to come down to a 5-pointer, and to come to a 5-pointer, and it's something that he he just couldn't pull. Like I would rather be I'd rather be like a whatever situation when you just can't pull it. It sucks, and I'm just like.
And what's funny is like. Like I go and like I told you, I went and watched Perfect Murder after that, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this movie's not that great, and I'm like Dial M for Murder is so much better. It's not even funny. And
is that part of your next promo?
Yeah, well, maybe no spoilers.
No spoilers.
Yeah, but the thing that when I went back and you watch the match with Dan, and I think about the questions I missed, I would have gotten open range on a different day. I blanked in the moment, and I didn't want to burn a repeat. I was like, I'm not going to pull it if I burn a repeat, so I got to let this one go today, and that sucked. But if I'd gotten that and gotten the bonus, and I hadn't checked the multiple choice for Mr. Peabody versus Sherman, it still would have gone to sudden death. Even if I'd gotten all 3 of those points, it still would have gone to sudden death if I'd missed Perfect Murder. And then it's anybody's game. It's just, so it's frustrating because the 5-pointer is part of the game, and Dan deserves the win for knowing the best man. But it's frustrating when you're just racking up correct answer after correct answer after correct answer, and you feel like you're winning the whole match, and then you lose on a 5-pointer. That's the humble pie everyone in the Schmoedown needs to eat eventually. And I think it's ultimately a good character building thing for all of us, but it breaks your heart. It breaks your heart.
It broke my heart too. Adam.
I will say, Adam, as much as I love Dan, I sat there and Chris and Suge is my witnesses. I'm like, that was like a 2 or 3 point question for the best man. I'm like
the game of the year.
To a lot of people, if they had mentioned Michael Douglas, I would have gotten that question. If I'd gotten one of the actors, if I'd gotten Viggo Mortensen, I would have gotten it. Like I'm not saying the 5-pointers were ultimately comparable, but I'm like, I would have given anything to have one of the actors in my question. Because when I heard Malcolm D. Lee, and then I heard 99, I was like, oh, it's the best man. Then I heard Terrence Howard, I was like, yeah, it's definitely the best man.
when I heard Malcolm D. Lee's first film, I said, oh, best man. That's it. Anybody who's familiar with his filmography knows that is his first film, and there's a reason it's memorable.
Yeah. And I think that's what we love about the Schmoedown, though, Adam. And as obviously, like you said, you're a fan of it. The 5-pointer changes everything. You can play your best match, and the 5-pointer changes anything. Even though we love sudden death, even though we love when someone goes perfect in the first round or somebody sweeps the second round or whatever, that 5-pointer ultimately, if you can't answer it or you can't answer it, you're going to either win or lose, and that's what makes the Schmoedown great, and which is why I love it because, like I said, you could play a great game and miss your 5-pointer and you lost, and you're like, what the hell just went wrong, And so my heart did break when you lost too. I was very upset. Okay. I canceled my prescription for Dan Murrow's Patreon. I'm done with it.
I unsubscribed from his channel.
Far. Yeah, I don't go that far. Dan. No. I'm gonna play him again. We'll leave it at that. I'll play him again. Don't worry.
It's gonna happen. And when it happens, I will.
It's gonna be an IG.
Make sure. Yes, it will be an IG. I'll make sure.
With my luck, it'll be our goddamn debut against each other. I'll be like,
right. You know, Christian would love that. All right. By the way, you're gonna be playing Dan Merrill on your IG debut. Why?
Like Dan obviously been training with Mara because they live together, and then Adam, you have a great bank of knowledge of IG, not only within yourself but within your faction as well.
Kalinowski and Chance right there, and it's just
And I'll tell you, these new categories in IG are amazing. I love them. I really do. Even stupid ass Transformers. No offense. I think it challenges people. It challenges everybody because we all just like, okay, all right, Transformers. And for me, I'm like, I immediately watch the animated one because that's the good one. And then I'm like, all right, now I got the other
good one. The other good one. You haven't seen Bumblebee yet, so I'm giving you a pass, but I'm just prepping you. It's actually surprisingly a beautiful film.
Let's just do a watch along to the high dive surprise.
We will host you for a watch along. Bumblebee.
Okay.
I'm dead ass.
We'll make it happen. That and Ghost back to back.
There you go. I think when we as fans, one thing, and this is going to how Adam was talking about getting back to Dan. I think with the number one contender stuff, I do want to see that. I want to see it play out, and then I want to see Adam just come in and take them all out. And then when we get that third matchup, it's just going to be more amazing because he took out Bateman, he took out Roka. Or he took out Oyama, and and then that's what I want to see as a fan, and I get excited for it because let's be honest, the fact that Dan Murrow won, he is great. You cannot deny that. But he didn't wrongful stop Adam, which makes it even better. Adam actually had him beat until he couldn't answer his 5-pointer, so it makes it great. So I just want to see him a third time, but I want to give it, like Adam said, give it a little bit of time.
Give it some time.
Let it freshen up again, and then when they play each other for the third time, obviously Nerdcron is going to have the best promo in the world, and then you're just going to see just amazing, and then we're going to be excited about it, and then it's going to go into a 30-question overtime.
And we want to play each other in person too. That's the other thing we want. I'm more than ready to transition into studio, live, whatever. I find it funny that last year, that was a big part of the narrative for a lot of rookies from last year. Can they do it on the studio? Blah, blah, blah. And now people aren't even talking about that because there's so many rookies. It's well, we're all in the same boat and we all are getting to know each other. So any jitters we would have, we all get riled up before a match. We all get excited before a match. We all get butterflies, all of it.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're
more ammo right here. You're just giving Chris more ammo.
See, Adam, I don't want to fanboy. I mean, as if I haven't been fanboying the last 1 hour and 42 minutes and counting. But Adam, seriously, I've heard the whole I want to see him play in studio. And I'm like, shut up. He's our champion. Cállate. And I'm over here just minding my own business, being the fan I am, knowing talent when I see it. And your match with Dan, although it did break my heart, and I may have cried. But the second you said that, Dan messed up, he beat me, now I got to go run wild on everybody else. So you can just repeat what the hell you just did over the singles tournament. Because people like to go ahead and discredit some things that certain competitors have done because it was certain circumstances like the digital. But look who you have beaten so far. Former champions, whether teams or singles. You look at the Roka match, and people are like, "Oh no, this ain't it." You knock out Lon Harris. Oh no, that's not it. He got lucky. Oh, he beat the kid. Oh no, he got lucky in sudden death. By the way,
I didn't say he got lucky with Lon. I said, okay, that's a real win because Lon
is the LSM match was
that LSM match. Was, the LS, I gave him respect for LSM, and I gave him respect for Snyder.
And then the Snyder one, I think that's when everybody was all right. It took that long. And now here you are. It's okay, yeah, you lost the belt, but now I get to do it all over again and show everybody why the hell people were so scared of you because I did go back and I rewatched some of our older Spin from the Reels, which by the way are awful.
We've grown a lot. We've
grown so much in such a short amount of time. But I would say, I'm like, yo, I'm scared of Adam Collins. I'd be terrified if I was playing him. And just look at the murderers row that he had to face and knocked out every single one of them, beat every single one of them. And you face Dan, you beat Dan, and yeah, Dan bested you by one question by an actor apparently. Because if you got in the actor, we're having a whole different conversation right now.
But he missed more questions than I did in the match.
Yeah. Don't even say that because I'm about to get more upset.
And Chris, to be fair, our old episodes of Spin from the Real like undisputed on Fox Sports.
Yes,
I'm Shay, and you're
they're awful. I shouldn't have said that, but what the hell? I don't want to say that they were awful. They're just real. They're real.
Yeah. Skip Bayless, we get it. Come to Club Shay. It's okay.
No. Okay, but in conclusion, this JTE Goddard match was it was a great showcase for both. I want to see what Goddard does in that teams tournament when he teams with Paul Preston, because I think they're going to be a formidable team together. JTE going into the same thing with Rushmore. I think now I believe in Rushmore more so now than I did a week ago. I'll tell you that in confidence.
Don't doubt him.
No,
JTE's got a fire under his ass. I can tell.
JTE,
he saw everyone playing. He's like, I got a thing or two to show these kids.
Right.
I think JTE's pissed because he saw how everyone reacted when he was signed, and everyone, including us, laughed it off and said Gucci doesn't know what he's doing. And I think that partly is what put a fire under his ass, because people are saying JTE is a part of that old crowd, the old guard, where you didn't have to study and you could still win, and he can't survive in this. You got to study. I can tell you, I talked to Craig a few times before that match, and when he was prepping JTE, and he told me, he's like, people are going to be shocked.
You know, Roca and JT remind me of the Bash Brothers from D2 The Mighty Ducks.
See, I'm the only Suge and I are the only ones here who get that reference because someone refuses to watch the Mighty Ducks movies.
It's not that I refuse. I just haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I'm not a
watch the show too. Yeah, great.
Well, the reason give him time. I mean, you can go see the silent film. Go see F.W. Murnau's Sunrise first.
No,
and then you can watch the Mighty Ducks.
I'm trying to get him to watch the show. That's the big thing. I'm like, yo, Chris, this is like your style of show. You got to watch this.
Okay, so one day we'll grab Adam. So we'll watch Mighty Ducks, Mighty Ducks 2, Mighty Ducks 3, Bumblebee, and
Corey
then
Cameron add D2 on the list with
the ghost.
Yeah.
Well,
I watched the first one before that.
The reason I say Bash Brothers is, you know, there are better analogies out there, but you know they had that initial rivalry, and then they become like a force to be reckoned with. I see that, you know, like that battlefield respect between Roca and JT, and I think that's a sleeping giant of a thing. They have a chip on their shoulder because of a lot of new players, and I think they have something to prove this year. And I think they're even more motivated by seeing their own rookies do well.
Yeah.
So,
something I want to add to that is at some point last year when Roca was still on backstage, he brought up the fact that he's like, you give me Snyder, you give me Jeff, and we would do the same thing the Patriots did. So when they were announced, when JT announced he was signing with the Exchange, part of me thought that we were going to end up with them on a team together.
Makes sense.
Roca and Snyder? Or Roca and JT?
Roca and JT, because Roca had said, he's like, if I was teamed up with JT or I was teamed up with Snyder, we would do the same thing the Patriots would have done back then. And now that he's on a faction with JT, I said, I wouldn't be shocked if we see Roca try to act on what he said back on backstage.
You saw what he did with Dan, though. It's like, you got Dan.
See, but here's the thing. Here's the difference. Roca and Dan, for the most part, have similar strengths. Roca isn't as strong in some of the pop culture categories. JTE is. So it balances out better than Roca and Dan.
Oh, okay. I'm just thinking that like the Ecuadorian guy who has to take the bus to work every day. Like I'm not him and Roca being like the OG Patriots and the run they had. I don't think we'll ever see that again in teams. Teams is way too damn good. Look at the tournament you just pulled up not too long ago. I think there's some killer ass teams in that. Adam being part of one of them. So like I don't think we'll see another Patriots like run or maybe even like a run like that in any division. Like we just saw Alex get dethroned. Who knows if that like we might see Demolante lose the belt, and then we're right back to Alex, and then look at all the crop of Star Wars talent. Like we saw Thomas Harper, we saw Marie, we saw Gold Leader, we saw Adam Witt, who could bring it. Adam Witt still bring it. Like that's just 4 folks who are just as capable of beating Demolante or Damon on a good day than anybody else in that damn division. So I don't think we'll see a run like that ever again, like Alex, like the Patriots, because the competition is way too damn good. Yeah. It's way too damn good.
But Chris, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
Wheel Slice of the Week.
Damn right, brother. Wheel Slice of the Week, baby. Wheel Slice of the Week, for those who don't know, it's our favorite Wheel Slice of last week.
Yeah, so I'm going to go first, and I'm just going to say it. My Wheel Slice of the Week is Opponent's Choice.
Why are you still mine? Why
wouldn't it be Opponent's Choice?
Like seriously. Like, is there really any other option? Opponent's Choice gets landed on back-to-back in a match, and it's like, that's the Wheel Slice of the Week. I knew that as soon as I watched the match. I'm like, that's it. Yep.
I hate agreeing in this Wheel Slice or in this segment because I want to.
We always want it to be different. Then we always have the same opinion.
Right. I want to diversify this thing, but I love the Opponent's Choice. Obviously, May and Schloth getting both Opponent's Choice in their rookie debut, and them. I mean, Schloth doing better than Beth did, but damn, it's still Opponent's Choice. Suge nails it on the head every time we talk about it. Like, it does not guarantee an L or a W if you get a Spinner's or Opponent's Choice. And Corey Cameron in the chat, we got Opponent's Choice in FCL last week too. Damn right. And FCL, go watch FCL. It's really damn good stuff too.
Yes, please go watch FCL. It's hard work, trust me.
Yeah, and my slice is going to be martial arts. I've always been a martial art head. I love martial art movies. The fact that JT got it and killed it, I loved it, and it's good to see martial arts. And
Leo Logan agrees with you.
My best friend, Leo Logan. Damn right.
I love the fact that we got martial art a slice and that JT killed it. So I definitely that was pretty awesome to see. So that's my
hell yeah. Let's do predictions before
let Adam go. I want to know if Adam had a slice that he liked this past week.
I do, but I just want to put give a shout out. While everyone's hot on Mortal Kombat this week, if you like Joe Taslim as Sub-Zero and you've already seen the Rage movies, go watch The Night Comes for Us on Netflix because it is so good. And I don't think it's currently Schmoedown eligible because it didn't release on Netflix during the pandemic, but it also is a damn good martial arts movie and everyone should see it.
Right, let's check it out.
My sleeper wheel slice of the week is Transformers. it didn't get spun, but it feels like it did.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And it sunk a lot of us in that free for all.
Right.
A lot of us.
So literally, I was talking to PJ on the after show. I'm like, so PJ, how happy were you to get rid of some of those Transformers questions? He's like, dude, you have no idea.
Like that's nuts.
Wait, when was PJ Campbell on the after show? I don't remember.
You're lying. Like you're such a lie. Let's do predictions so we can get Adam out of here. We've been on for too long.
Yeah. Well, just a reminder, here are the standings as of right now. These are our predictions for matches every week. Right now, I am in the lead 26-7. Suge is just under 500 at 10-11, and Chris is at 21-12.
I like picking his favorites.
Catching up to you. He's catching up to you. Yeah,
he's not. He's been stuck at 5. He's been stuck on
last week
5 behind me for the last few weeks. He's like, he's got to make some crazy bets here to.
If Transformers wasn't the thing, we'd be talking about Adam Collins winning a damn free for all.
I'll tell you what, guys. I'm not going to put this online, but I'll share it with you. See that?
Yeah, Transformers questions free for all.
Yo,
that was amazing. That was pretty good.
Yo, I mean, that's what it felt like, didn't it? And PJ confirmed it on our after show.
He did. All right, Matt. Let's get through these predictions.
All right, so we're gonna start off with you first. This Tuesday's match, Parker or Hannah? Who you got?
I'm obviously taking Parker.
Okay.
Damn it. Brandon Hannah played himself one hell of a game against Eric Zipper.
You got to make up room in the standings, Chris.
Damn. I'm picking Robert.
I'm picking Robert too. I ain't betting against him.
Adam, who do you have, if I may ask? Or have you seen the match?
I can't comment on it.
Okay,
gotcha.
fair enough.
Okay,
all right,
fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. We're gonna go Lightning Time versus the Outsiders.
Oh, that's this week.
That's Thursday.
Oh,
wow.
Is it?
Really?
Teams tournament's kicking off, baby.
Yep.
Oh,
wow! I didn't realize that's so quick.
Like I can share my screen right now for you.
Oh no, we're doing these two already. I was wondering what this week's matches were.
Brandon Hale, Lightning Time versus the Outsiders, right
Oh
there.
yeah.
Oh, GD. Oh my God, I have Lightning Time.
Suge, who you got?
Outsiders.
Adam, who'd you rather play?
So you're saying between Lightning Time and the Outsiders?
Yep.
Well, the thing is, with Lightning Time you have raw knowledge, and with the Outsiders you have like a decided element of strategy. I've paid attention to Goddard and Preston. They're talking a lot about not only their studying, but their strategizing and things like that. I think that makes them very dangerous, not to be underestimated. But I think if Lightning Time pulls it off, it'll be through sheer force, because that's how Liz and Ethan play. They just mow you down when they get on a run, and that makes them very scary. But I think it's a hell of a first round matchup. You got all vets in there. Goddard's a sophomore now, so he's a vet too. So it's gonna be exciting.
Matt, who you got?
I got Lightning Time. If you think I'm picking against Liz Shannon Miller, you're crazy. Especially when she's teamed with Ethan Irwin. Next match, right. I'll go first this time, is Rushmore versus the Press Room.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm taking Rushmore.
Yeah. Who's the Press Room again?
Perry Nemiroff and Josh Horowitz.
Oh geez. For my fantasy team, Homeboy and the Heartbreaker, it's not doing so hot this season. I do have Perry Nemiroff, so it'd be beneficial for me to pick Press Room, but I don't have to. So for this, I'm picking Rushmore, and I'm hoping that Perry wins for some points in my fantasy team.
Chris is like, we going step for step. I ain't losing any more points.
And the biggest Perry Nemiroff shill is in the chat. NFL Caleb, who absolutely
what's up,
Caleb, long time.
Gonna dominate. Horowitz must be like a savant or something, like Adam.
But I'm gonna take Rushmore too. I think JT and Roker are gonna do it.
Adam, you have any comments on that match?
Well, I feel like I just need to pull for Press Room at this point. You guys are all rooting for those.
I'm not rooting for them.
I want the points in my fantasy team. I'm right there.
It's the exchange I'm rooting for. What am I saying?
Rushmore's the team to beat in that match, but I would love to see Press Room pull an upset.
We're right there with you.
All right, and I guess for this last one, I'm going to start with Collins, and it only makes sense to the live event we have on Friday. Kalinowski v. Damon. Who you got?
What's the undercard for that?
We don't know yet.
No undercard. Right? It's a battlefield. Oh wait, yeah, undercard TBA. It's TBA. Yeah.
We'll make that prediction and put it on our Twitter.
Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that one.
It's Collins. Collins is playing.
It's Adam.
We figured it out.
Me and Roca are debuting in Star Wars against each other, guys. No, Christian. Yeah, trust me. If that were a real thing, I'd be fired right now. So as far as Mike and Damon, hell yeah, God, Mike. Not just because he's in my faction. Mike has been lying in wait, and you do not know. Oh man, these new categories make Mike even scarier in IG. I can't wait. I can't wait for that match. So Damon though, where credit is due, Damon was very impressive in that Barbarian match, because everyone talked about for a while, he got Star Wars. Yeah, he got Star Wars, but did you see what he did? He was beating up on Babs in round 1. He was whooping up on Babs. Yeah, and then at the end of round 2, it was just insult to injury. I mean, Barbarian's obviously a great player in multiple divisions. No one's denying that, but to see Damon pull it off with more of that panache, he was great. But I think Kalinowski's going to take this one.
Suge, who you got?
Do me a favor, take Adam off of camera because I don't want to not play. I really want Damon to win simply because I think I would love to see him hold the IG and Star Wars belt at the same time. I think that would be amazing. But I think Mike Kalinowski is going to win.
Yeah.
Chris, I know who you're going with.
Yes, Alex Damon. Totally kidding. I'm picking Mike Kalinowski. No, like Mike, my man came in second in the Greek Team tournament last year. He lost to Chance Ellison in one of the best days in corruption history. What a day. We all went on vacation after that, myself included, by proxy. Like it was a great day.
You moved to a different state after that. That's not vacation.
I did.
And I've got what's his name? David Harbour's shirt from season 3 of Stranger Things, that weird like Hawaiian shirt he had. I have that if we get all the way to the corruption #1 contender match, because I want to keep up that tradition. That's what's motivating me right now. I want to
go on vacation.
I want to get Deception all the way to that #1 contenders teams match against our own boys, because it's win-win. I was so happy about Grace's announcement recently about, like, it is what it is, and that's exactly how it should be, because that's what we ultimately want. If Parker plays Mara for the belt, that's what the dungeon wants. If we play corruption for the belt in teams or a #1 contender shot, that's what we want. It's guaranteed points.
Well, not only that, I get some people are like, oh, it would create dissension storyline-wise. So some of these teams, they're actual teams. They're not like the exchange last year when it was ego on ego on ego on ego.
We're ride or die in corruption. I think
exactly.
Right. So we saw that last year with Chance and Mike. Mike lost, and he was like, "Good job, brother. We're all going on vacation." That's what we want to see. And Mike's going to beat Damon this time, and we're going to get that Kanopic Kalinowski. I forget how many times they face each other, but we're going to get that rematch, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
This would be a third time. It is, and that would be a very interesting match. That'd be very interesting.
I want to see that match now. I really do.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm picking Mike here. I love Alex. I said Alex had a chance to win last time, but I'm gonna play it safe and go with the guy who's a former champion in IG. So
he's a dog. Mike's a dog.
But keep an eye on our Twitter for when that other match gets announced, and we'll put what our predictions are on there. So the Spin from the Real Twitter, which is just at Spin from the Real on Twitter.
Damn right. And it's gonna be Collins, Roca, Star Wars, 5 rounds. Yeah, and they're gonna and Mando will be a part of it. Just Mando though. Just Mando.
Oh, then Roka's screwed.
And
not a
Ewok movies, you cowards. Ewok movies.
Okay. And before we get out of here, Adam has to get going. Adam, go ahead and drop all your socials and everything like that that you want to drop before we get out of here.
It's really just I think it's a coincidentally obscure. There it is. Okay. That is my handle. I'm really a low profile guy unless I'm popping on to programs within the community, but Twitter and Letterboxd, that's where you can find me under Eyes and Thor. So check it out. I like reviewing movies and engaging with fellow fans. So
thank you so much, Adam.
Just remember, and I had this conversation with Sully last night. I come at this as a sports guy. I'm never taking shots at you personal.
I trust me, I'm a consummate professional. I don't take it that way at all. But I like to earn people's respect through gameplay over time. Even if you're rooting for the other guy, as long as you don't think I'm some scrub. Then no,
I won't say you're a scrub. Never.
And if Matt did, I definitely let him have it on your behalf. So it's okay. Right? It's okay.
Adam, have a good night. Enjoy what you got to go do right now.
Thank you so much, Adam. It was a pleasure, man. Pleasure.
You too, guys. Keep up the good work. I'll keep watching. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, Adam.
What a guy. That's my favorite.
What a guy.
Yo. Can we just acknowledge that just happened? Like, I know it's been like a running gag on this show that I'm such a corruption mark. It's ridiculous. But when Suge told us, what was it, last week? Like, it's like, we're gonna get Adam on the show. 2 weeks ago. And we said, we're gonna get Adam on the show. It's like, oh my God. Like this, like I know I tried to be as professional as I could, but I couldn't. I had to let it out. I had to. But
it's all good. Fanboy out, Chris. I don't mind.
Well,
that's how I feel when I get to talk to Kate. Like I fanboy the shit out. So it's
a matter of time. Let's get Ken on the show.
Well, you can while you calm down. I'm gonna plug these shows because this week on Really Scared, they have special guest Mona Kabani, and they're watching Let the Right One In.
Damn right.
So make sure to watch Really Scared. this upcoming Thursday. Really excited for that. I think this is the first. Well, Nick went live this past Sunday. This is my first Real Talk back this upcoming Sunday, because of scheduling things. About 2 weeks, so I'm excited to do that. Excuse me, Chris. Is Wrestle Real live this week or no?
As of right now, Wrestle Real will be live. It's a lot of W's and R's. It will be live 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. If you like pro wrestling, then come hang out with us on Wrestle Real every single Friday. And we had our Wrestle Real Super Show last week. We had an unprecedented 5-count show, 5 topics, and our high spot. And it was a lot of fun to do. This time, Nick and I are right back at it, talking some more wrestling. Some crazy stuff has happened over the last few days. Kenny Omega's out here winning all the belts. And we have opinions on that. So we'll talk about that on Friday.
Did he win the belt, though? That was so horrible.
You didn't like Kenny winning the belt? My man Kenny's out here with the Infinity Gauntlet.
It did nothing. It did nothing for AEW. It did nothing for Impact.
And we'll talk about that on Wrestle Room. And maybe Suge can join us to talk about that. But
I don't do wrestling shows, goddamn you.
But yes, please check out Really Scared, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. They're gonna have Monica Bandy on the show. And it's gonna be fantastic. Real Talk on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We have so much fun stuff going on here. Obviously, Spin from the Real every single Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. There's a trend. I think you guys got the trend. But we have a lot of fun stuff planned on the channel going forward. We have new shows. Saber Reels is coming very, very soon, at least to a weekly format.
Yeah, it will be back May the 4th. May the 4th is the next time we'll be back.
May the 4th will be a busy day for Matt Thomas, and I'm eager to watch the proper debut of Saber Reels, especially my boy Toby Brockwell coming back to the channel. And we have some other fun things going on that, because if I wasn't busy enough, I like more shows. So I'll say that in regards to what we got going on here at Watt going forward. It is a Watt Boy summer forever and always.
Right. And make sure tomorrow to join me and Chris on stereo as we talk about the FCL tomorrow and some big matches. My boy Sonny is playing.
Sonny Olsen, baby.
I cannot wait to watch that match. I'm going to hype that match up because I want to see Sonny play. So make sure to join us on stereo tomorrow. We'll send out the link, and me and Chris will be talking about the
Follow
FCL.
us on Twitter for the link.
Yeah, come make sure to hang out with us. And yeah, man, make sure to follow all of us on our Twitter handles. On TikTok, I'm almost to 400. So if you not following me over there, and make sure to follow the channel. We're doing good on this channel now, and we need to get us to 500. That's where I want to see. That's our goal, 500.
Thank you so much for all the support, guys. Thank you so much for all the people that hung out with us on Saturday, all the folks that hang out with us today. Really do appreciate it. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. So remember, folks, spin from the reel, not the peg. Have a